Gentlemen, welcome back to the Tiege Hanley Starting a Business, Building a Brand vlog. This one, big number 382. And by big, I mean my balls are bigger, or are they? I did a video recently where I actually tried this supplement for 30 days that reports to make your balls like bigger, higher testosterone, and produce more sperm. Now, did it work? Did I notice a difference? You're gonna have to wait and see. The video is coming out, I believe, on the 16th of this month. Anyway. But it did get me thinking about one of the business questions. You're like, why do you care about your ball size? Well, real little backstory. There was this article or a study that was basically reported in the New York Post, right? Not the most like amazing like source for like journalism, but basically there was a study done in China where they took these mice and they basically gave one section, they broke them up into three different like groups, right? One group, they made them drink water, and the other two groups, they basically made them drink different varying amounts of Coke and Pepsi. And what they found, after measuring every third day, they'd measure like their testicles and their testosterone. And what they found is at the end of 15 days, the mice that drank nothing but Coke and Pepsi had bigger balls, and they also had a higher testosterone level. And so, should you drink Coke in order to get bigger balls? That's what I wanted to know. And so I started doing more research about testicle size and is bigger better, and the answer kind of is yeah, it is, because unfortunately, as dudes age, our balls start to shrink, and as our balls shrink, it produces less testosterone, less sperm, and all that bad stuff, right? Which is why so many people that take steroids are worried about their balls shrinking, because if your balls shrink, they may never work again, right? And you want your boys to be functioning, which is why a lot of people that take TRT or testosterone or some type of anabolic steroids are taking HCG, which is supposed to help stimulate your balls and make them not shrink. Anyway, all that to say, I'm doing the research, gentlemen. And so there's a supplement out there that naturally claims they can make your balls bigger and better and heavier and produce more action, right? And so I was reading the reviews and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try this because I'm curious. And anyway, the results are in, amigos, and I'll tell you a little bit more about this. Actually, I'll tell you all about it on the 16th at the Alpha M YouTube channel. Also, talking about channels, today, Sunday, the first episode of the Alpha Empire show, season, YouTube channel came out. It dropped. And it basically is my story, my entrepreneurial journey from a young age all the way up to where we are now. And Christian came in, we filmed it. I actually haven't seen it yet. I'm assuming it's pretty good because Christian did it. He's editing it now, but it definitely dropped this morning on the Alpha Empire channel. So if you haven't, go check it out. Make sure to subscribe while you're there and enjoy the video. The next video has already been filmed about fake gurus, and I'm really excited to drop that one because I definitely have an opinion about all these sleazeballs trying to sell you info products that you don't need or that you may need. But anyway, all the information's out there for free. All that to say, today I want to talk a little bit about private labeling, because it kind of gets a bad rap, right? People are like, oh, it's private labeled shit. No, not really. The private label products are awesome, typically. Now, a little bit of information about this. All right, so private labeling is a quick and easy way, if you are somebody that wants to start a business, whether or not it's a big ball supplement business or, glasses or shirts or hair product or skincare or testicle shaving cream. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do, right? There's a company out there right now that will literally stamp your logo on it and make your packaging super sexy and unique to you and ship it to you. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, the reason is because it's easy, right? The barrier to entry is very low. Now, full disclosure and transparency. When I started, Pete and Pedro, some of you know, some of you may not know, some of you are going to find out now. It was a private label product, right? I got 5 products. I got putty, clay, pomade, paste, and cream. The way that it happened, I called Steve and I go, hey, do you know companies that make products? He said, yes, here are 5 names of 5 different companies. And so I basically reached out to these companies who are contract manufacturers who make products for big companies, unique formulas, but they also have a line of their own products. And so I reached out to all 5 of these companies. I said, send me your stuff. I want to private label some hair products. And so basically I tested all the products, and I found a line that I absolutely loved, which was Pete and Pedro. And so for the first few years, that was what I did. I private labeled Pete and Pedro. But as I grew, why? Okay, back up a second. Why would you do that? Well, it's easy, right? Minimum order quantity is pretty low. When I started Pete and Pedro, I had those 5 products and I had 96 units of each. I bought basically like 4 cases of each product, and they were like nice and organized in my little spare bedroom. I had them all stacked up, and when I'd sell one, I'd pull one out, put it in its own box, and send it out, right? It was easy. I literally got started for like, I don't remember what the price was, but I started the entire Pete and Pedro business for $3,000. That includes the product. That also includes the website. That includes the Dymo printer to print labels. That includes the boxes and the tissue paper to go in it. $3,000 bucks. I started that business that today is doing over $7 million, which is awesome, right? Anyway, I'm getting better at talking about money. This year, man, I think we're going to crush it. I think we could honestly, we're so crushing it, it's ridiculous. We could do close to like $9 million bucks if we stayed. Anyway, it's crazy. The growth is insane, but it's awesome. We've worked really hard. And my team, Mike, Dave, everybody, Debbie, everybody, Matt, Zavi, Met, everybody, even my dad making boxes, Mike, customer service, right? Sue, my mom, also helping with customer service. You know, everybody at Pete and Pedro, Paul, Pete and Pedro, new addition. Paul that used to do Enemy and help me there. And anyway, we got a small team. But anyway, everybody's killing it. We've really, really done a great job. And we're growing. And some of the fruits of our labor and the hard work and being in the trenches and getting dirty is actually paying off. And it's paying off. And the strategy is paying off. So I'm talking like we're doing great. And last month, I got the income report from my boy Mike, 27.8% profits. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, it started from a private label product, right? But now you're like, yo, is it still private label? No, it's not, because as I developed the business, as I started to grow, I was able to basically order big enough quantities that I could customize it and it wasn't gonna kill me. Because when it comes to private labeling, like we said, smaller minimum order quantity, which is great. You can get started for a little bit of money. You can try it, you can test it, you can get it out to the customers. Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Whatever, without having to invest so much money. And so the risk is a lot lower when you start off with a private label company. Now, Tiege Hanley, right, not private label. We custom developed every single formula, and that was the thing. That was why we were so excited to have this chemist, because we were able to say, okay, we want these ingredients. We didn't even know what all of the ingredients we needed were. We just said to them, hey, we want the best eye cream on the market. It doesn't matter the cost, because the price of making these things is not expensive. The packaging is expensive. Anyway, we got to totally customize and say exactly what we wanted. And so we built our system, we built unique products, and we own the formulas and all that good stuff, which brings me to one of the downsides to a private label scenario. You don't have the intellectual properties, or I should say the intellectual properties is not yours, right? It's somebody else's, and they're just like, yeah, we'll sell it to you. Now, typically, the private label products are going to be a little bit more expensive. You're going to pay a little bit more because they are going to make their margin, but it doesn't mean that you're still not going to have the margin to mark it up X number of times in order to be able to wholesale it to a retailer or somebody else to sell it then 100% markup over that, sell it to the end user, right? It's totally doable. The prices aren't crazy, right? And that's one of the things you got to consider. But in terms of private label product, if you can think of it, if you can dream it, it's probably out there. Now, if you've got some cruel like design or some feature to like, I've got a pen that's actually got 6 points and it's got 3 erasers, and like if you're creating something completely unique and that's like your thing, then you can't private label it, right? You can't do that. And then you are going to have to go through the process of doing the molds, finding somebody that can actually make a prototype, and then take that prototype to the different manufacturers. But the process is going to be longer, right? It's also going to be harder and more expensive. But brings me to another benefit to private labeling, and that is speed, turnaround. It's quick. I'm talking like quick. You basically contact them, they send you, you do whatever you do, you design whatever you're going to design in terms of packaging and logos and all that good stuff. Boom, you're done. Now, something else you can do while things are being made is renderings, right? Renderings are like a realistic representation of what your product is. So why would you want to do that? Well, the answer is because your website. You want to start building the hype. You want to start building, hey, I came out with the best grooming product in the history of products, right? I came out with the best whatever, face wash or big ball formula that will literally triple the size of your testicles. Totally no side effects, right? You can do that, and you can get renderings, and you can start building the hype, the anticipation, And while they're making it and then they ship it to you, boom, right? You're figuring things out and you're off to the races. Private labeling, in my opinion, is an amazing option for so many entrepreneurs. I think a lot of people get in the mindset of, I don't want to do that, right? I don't want to do that because, well, it's not really unique. And then what if somebody finds out? You know what? It's about marketing, brother. It's about you getting it out there. The person with the best marketing wins. Now, you can't have shit products, but the beautiful thing is that all these private label products, they've basically done the testing. They've done the research. They've got the approvals. They've got the formulations. They've got a solid tested product. And so, what are you going to do? Like, you're going to think that you're going to make something that much better to a product that is already out there? Another example, right? Actually, I can give you a few examples. All right, so see all these different bars, like you've got, Native, you've got Atwater, you've got, what is this, Harry's, you've got Huron, you've got Anthony, you've got Crunch, you've got something sexy, Detox Bar, you got a lot of bars, right? So why do I have these? Well, let me show you. Right here, right? All right, so these. So wanted to create a bar, right, for Pete and Pedro. Hanley has a bunch of bars. Wanted to create a bar, all right? But I don't know exactly, okay, I don't know what to say to somebody to be like, I want a bar that has, no. But what I did, I went to my lab, right, that makes the deodorant. I said, hey, we want to do a body bar. We want it to be a little bit exfoliating, but moisturizing. We kind of want to be it like this. Can you send us some samples? And so what they do, they'll send you other products that they actually make. And then what I did and my team did was, okay, let me try it, right? So I had all these bars. I took them in the shower. I tried them a few different times to create basically a list. Okay, what do I like from this bar? What do I hate from that one? To build my custom bar, right? It's like, okay, yeah, that one was a little bit too scratchy, a little too exfoliant. So we're going to back off the jojoba beads and make it only or whatever, and then add a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and add some olive oil for moisturization, and the scent, we want it to be like our deodorant, which is super fresh. And so they build you a bar and they prototype it, right? Now, the downside to this is that you actually have to have a big minimum order quantity. And I think for these bars, it was like 20,000 units for the deodorant, right? Custom formulation, but same sort of process. They sent us all their deodorants that they make for all these different companies. And we found a natural one that we loved. We changed a few things. We added our custom scent, and it's our product. It's a custom formulation, but it doesn't mean that you've got to reinvent the wheel. These companies have already done so many incredible things, so many incredible products. You can use them if you've got a good manufacturing partner to give you ideas for additional products or how to tweak or modify or do whatever you want to do. And so it's all about how you choose to start and modify your business, right? I personally think that Alibaba, amazing resource. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, it's cheap Chinese crap products. No, it's not. It's only cheap crap Chinese products if you, the owner of the company, choose to use cheap components, right? China doesn't decide that, you do. You could use high quality components. Same thing I did, right? Where are my enemies? I had a pair of enemies right over here. Anyway, I don't know where they are. In the car. Like with Enemy, right? They make cheap sunglasses. You could buy cheap sunglasses. I could make cheap sunglasses for $3 a pair, or I could make the critical mistake of going too premium, using mazzucchelli acetate, using, stainless this and Zeiss lenses, and build an amazing product. It's made by China. Is it a cheap China product? No. What China does incredibly well is assemble and scale accurately, right? That's what they do really well, and that's what's really affordable. But it's only a cheap product if you choose to use cheap stuff. It really boils down to you. And Alibaba, once again, it's kind of like an amazing resource and opportunity for people, entrepreneurs that want to start a business, to go find somebody that's already done it amazingly, send it to us. That's how Manscaped started. You think Manscaped started with we want this? No, because I've gotten some of the trimmers that some of these companies have sent me. I know that some of the other super high premium hair product companies, I know that they started as private label. The reason is because I got them and I'm like, wait a second, this is whatever, even though they say these are custom. They're not custom, I got the samples. And so, it's one of those things where you just need to choose what is right for your business. Now, with that being said, why is there a benefit to owning your own formulation? If you ever want to sell your business, not ever, but it's beneficial to you as a business if you do have something custom that you own the patent, you own the formula, you own the copyright, you own the trademark, you own whatever. It's going to be a little bit more valuable as opposed to a private label product. Now, that doesn't necessarily always hold true, but generally speaking, it is a little bit less valuable to another big company. Now, if it's like a private equity firm or somebody that's just buying you for cash flow, they don't care what the formula is. They don't care where you get it. They don't care if it's private label. If people are buying it and they can make money, that's all they care about. But if a company, a bit like, we'll use Tiege Hanley, for instance. If Unilever would come to us and be like, hey, we want to buy Tiege Hanley, right? Be like, great. Here are the formulas. We get them from here. They're all private label. Not exactly as beneficial. But if they come and say, okay, we want to buy your products. Yes, great. We own the formula. There are custom formulas, right? It makes us a little bit more valuable. Anyway, all that to say that private label is a great option for those entrepreneurs that want to try it without investing a ton. Also, that wants to have it turned around super quick. But is it for everybody? No. But I just wanted to give you my 2 cents. And then if you're interested in what happened to my testicles, you definitely need to tune into the Alpha M YouTube channel next week on the 16th to get the full scoop. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the Alpha Empire YouTube channel, we just dropped the first video this morning, like an hour ago. If you want to go check it out, it's basically like my story. Christian filmed it and edited it. And so it's better than any of my other videos will be, but I'm going to link to it down below. Hopefully you guys go check it out. And if you dig it, drop it one of these. Now, speaking of dropping, why don't I drop some more knowledge on your amazing business questions? If you have a business question down below, start with business question and ask. Each week, we try to get to some of them. This week, no exception. This first business question I absolutely love because it's something that drives me crazy. And it's all about brands feeling the need to rebrand, right? Says, hey Aaron, it's been a while since I've asked a question, but I've been watching every week. Well, thank you for being here, Lazardus Johnson, 232. Anyway, it says, oftentimes businesses, as they grow, feel the need to want to rebrand. An example can be Dunkin' Donuts. When they rebranded to Dunkin', as they expanded the number of beverages and foods they offered customers. I know since you started P&P, I've seen on the website, and you have been describing it as a hair product company, then a hair product and fragrance company. But as you add more and more products to the website, grooming products, supplements, body powders, deodorants, and more, have you thought or have considered that the idea of rebranding it to something more general as men's care products or something like that? So yeah, kind of. What does it say on the website even now? I don't even, like Tiege Hanley's logo is uncomplicated skincare for men, right? So if it's skincare, it makes sense, or it has to do with your skin, it makes sense. Pete and Pedro, what is it? Oh, shit, no internet connection. Hang on. Technology. Wait for it. What does it say? It says, it doesn't say anything. It just says, meet Mr. Smooth, Pete and Pedro. I don't know what it says. Bottom of the website, where's it? Pete and Pedro. I think we kind of got away from saying whether or not it's hair care or whatever. I think it's Pete and Pedro Grooming Company, right? I think we have actually kind of rebranded it to just like Grooming Company. But if it's hair product that we're talking about, it's Pete and Pedro, Bueno Hair. And so Bueno Hair, it says, let me just see real hair. Yeah, on the powder, it doesn't say like Bueno Hair. It just says fresh. So I guess it's fragrance. It doesn't say Bueno Hair. So if it's a hair product, we say hair. If it's not a hair product, we just say whatever the product is. But yeah, a lot of companies do get into that. One company that I think is one of my friends owns a company, Beard Brand, right? Eric owns Beard Brand. And one of the, I think, tricky things for him is that unlike Pete and Pedro or, Tiege Hanley or whatever it is, when the company's name is Beard Brand, it limits your ability to really kind of rebrand, if that makes sense, because you're kind of like committed to the fact that it's beard. So being like Beard Brand grooming products, it's not as easy and it doesn't make as much sense. Companies always are rebranding though, new logos, new whatever, just trying to stay fresh. And I think honestly, one of the biggest issues is that these marketing departments are trying to justify their salaries and their jobs. And so they're always thinking about changing stuff. There's a lot of times that I'll see somebody rebrand that I'll be like, why the hell did you do that? It just doesn't make sense. You know, Dunkin', you know, a little cooler than Dunkin' Donuts. Everybody thinks of it as Dunkin' Donuts still, right? I don't know. But yes, I've thought about it, but not that much. But great question. Great question. The next business question is from our friend Kadara Watt. He says, how do you feel about business ethics, the supplement industry? Business ethics of the business ethics of the supplement industry. I'm curious to hear your opinion on this, since you have so much more experience working in the fitness nutrition industry. For example, every brand of whey protein claims to be the best than the other, but most of them come from the exact same source. That sounds a little unethical to me. It's private label, case in point, right? And that's the truth. And that was something that I was made very aware of back in the day when I had the nutrition business. You know, all of these whey proteins basically came from 3 manufacturers, but there were like 10,000 different companies saying ours is the best, ours is the most whey isolated, and you're going to absorb it more. And like, it's all marketing. The other downside to the supplement industry, including Big Ball Blasting 2.0 supplement that I'm going to come out with next month, because I think I need a Big Ball supplement. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Anyway, one of the problems is that, you know, the supplement nutrition industry is not regulated by the FDA. The same way like food is, right? Like a cheeseburger or, you know, cheese, right? They don't regulate it the same. And so you're largely in part are relying on them just being honest and ethical about what's actually in the product, which is why it's so crazy important to make sure that you're buying from a reputable company. And there are a lot of unreputable companies out there selling you shit. I mean, there's been all sorts of studies where they took like these popular products and actually like herbs and supplements, they analyze them. It's like, okay, it's saying it's 98 milligrams of vitamin C, and they do the, you know, analysis, and it's like, oh, it's got no vitamin C. Well, what the hell is it, right? So it's very, very important that you make sure that you're buying a reputable brand in terms of supplements and vitamins, right? Because there are some shady ones out there. You know, high quality ones are not few and far between, but you're going to spend a little bit more money, and you're going to probably get them at a specific store that sells that specific, as opposed to like the grocery store or a drugstore. Those products, generally speaking, including vitamins, supplements, not to mention, you know, grooming products, are low quality. And so Amazon's kind of changed the game. Look for the reviews. But I would say reviews are definitely one of the things that you can look for to try to figure out if it's a good product or not. At least that's what I do. The last business question is from our friend Type 1 Lifting. I love the name. And for you guys out there that haven't checked him out yet, why don't you go hit our boy up? He says, fellow Georgia guy, I have a podcast called Type 1 Lifting that I love doing. I talk about fitness, diabetes, and everything in between, which is a very clever name, Type 1 Lifting. I love it. Anyway, the podcast space is very saturated, and I'm looking to stand out from the crowd. What would be some tips in marketing the show that could help me grow the show? Thank you for the weekend vlogs. They're super fun to listen to. Have a great day. So, all right, Type 1 Lifting. I'm actually going to go to your channel right now, and my damn internet connection. It's been horrible lately. Hang on. Sorry. Wait for it. It's coming, but seriously, great name. Yes, the podcast space is crowded, but every space is crowded. Don't let that dissuade you. One tip I can give you is talk about things and topics that are popular or trending in your space. And if you see that there's like a topic or a person like Mike O'Hearn, or you know, something that's getting a little bit of buzz, a little bit of traction. The guy Greg Doucette. He does this really well. All he does basically is talk about, well, not all he does, but he talks a lot about like, you know, like the fitness people, the industry, and things of that nature. And so if you did something to that effect and talk about some of these more popular names and people, you definitely get more search traffic, because people are searching like, you know, Greg Doucette or Mike O'Hearn or, you know, whomever. My internet connection, I don't know that it's in the cards today. It looks like, just from looking, it looks like a lot of your stuff and your expertise and your passion is around like CrossFit and that type of content. What are those guys interested in? And that's kind of I guess, you got to figure out like, okay, so who is your audience? You know, it's fitness people, obviously, people into fitness. And then dive a little bit deeper. Who are your audience and who are you speaking to? Is it CrossFitters? Is it people that, do that kind of stuff? What are they interested in and who are the popular people, right? Talk about, different things and same sort of scenario where you look at, or here's another one. Is there another podcast that's similar to what you want to talk about and what you do that you could go to and look at their more popular videos just to see what the topics are that people are searching for and looking for? Other than that, I think your thumbnails look good. I mean, I don't know who the guests are on your channel or on your podcast. I've never seen any of these people, but keep going. Keep going. I know it's discouraging when your videos aren't getting like super big, but I would definitely say start trying to be a little bit more strategic in the things that you're talking about in your titles, and putting something in there that's a little bit more clickbaity is definitely a way to go in terms of getting Google and YouTube to basically recommend you because people are searching for whatever that term is. I know that was kind of like a crappy answer, but that's my answer for today. Gentlemen, that's where I'm going to wrap things up. If you have a business question, down below, start it with business question. Each week, like I said, I try to get to some of them. This week, there weren't a ton. Next week, I hope to get to more. And so if you're interested, please, down below, let me know. Gentlemen, we love you more than our double monk strap shoes. And as always, thanks for watching.